Floor mats. Not an exact color match, but I think it's pretty nice and it'll keep my town car nice and clean.
Greetings. This is Escape from Trucking, I guess. And I'm back in my town car. Let's see, pull the brake on here. There we go. Whew. Alright, so you may notice, or you may not notice, that I'm at a different angle today. And the reason for that, of course, is because the adhesive mount that I put on my dashboard, it just came right off. It lasted for a few days. Cold weather, it just came right off. And, you know, I don't really think that was made for a vinyl surface. So I have a replacement for it, but I just don't want to do it because of how often the damn thing, how fragile the adhesive is on this particular surface. I'm not doing it no more. I won't do it no more. I think the better solution is the solution I have in my Civic, which is a suction cup mount that can be adjusted. It holds my cell phone, but it also holds, it can also be adjusted to hold the GoPro. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get me a suction cup mount. Until then, I'll put my GoPro in my ashtray. So this episode, I guess, I guess people like town car episodes for some reason. Now, this channel was supposed to be about career transitioning out of the trucking industry, but like I said, my most popular videos are about this town car. So I guess that's what I'm going to make videos about too. Well, I'm documenting the restoration of this town car, which I thought was going to be like a good deal and an instant daily driver that I could have, because I kind of drank the Kool-Aid from these YouTubers who love the Panther platform and the Panther platform community. And don't get me wrong, they are great cars, but I think what I didn't really understand getting into this is that the owners of these cars don't really, or any car for that matter, they just treat their cars like shit. They don't maintain them properly. And so, you know, I'm kind of a rookie to car stuff, if I'm being honest. I'm a bit of a novice, and so I ended up buying a car that needed more work than I thought it would. I mean, it is a 20-year-old car. Like, I don't know, maybe I really didn't have proper expectations coming into this, but the car's mine. And so I had to work on the timing chain. I did an episode of that. I have since gotten the transmission range sensor worked on. That was in another episode. I got the transmission range sensor worked on with the transmission pan that needed to be replaced, and obviously transmission fluid needed to be replaced with that, and a litany of other, well, not a litany of them, just a couple other small things. So I got that done. That costed me another $1,300 altogether. And just the other day, I went into a different mechanic shop thinking I could maybe save a little bit of money. I've taken it to 3 different mechanic shops now, kind of looking for a decent price. The first mechanic I took it to, they do a great job. They do great work, but they're kind of on the bougie side of town, and they have bougie prices. And I didn't really understand that when I moved to this area, first of all, a couple years ago. And they just been my mechanic. I didn't really kind of realize that these guys are like very much on the high end of the pricing. So I looked for other mechanics. I guess that's one thing that this car has taught me to do, is kind of like look around for the more reasonably priced mechanics that are still good, I guess, if anything. So I'm learning. I guess the point is I'm learning. So anyway, the timing chain thing was the first thing I had to work on to kind of save the engine from future damage. The next thing I did was I worked on the transmission range sensor with the transmission pan, and I think there was a gasket that needed to be replaced too. And this time I took the town car in for work on the remaining repairs, because I don't have enough money to do all this crap at once. The remaining repairs, which I thought were the right front wheel bearing and the ball joints. Well, I took it into the mechanic and they said, yeah, the ball joints are bad, but it's not the right front wheel bearing that's bad. It's the rack and pinion system that's bad. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I don't have enough money to do both the ball joints and the rack and pinion. I had enough to do a right front wheel bearing, but not ball joint and ball joint, but not ball joint and rack and pinion. So I said, well, let's just do the ball joints this time around. So that's what they did, and there's new ball joints in this car, and the suspension is very nice, and the steering is still really loosey-goosey on this thing. And they also told me that the battery charge was low, which makes sense because it's getting very cold around here. And in addition to that, it is, ooh, the steering is, ugh. Yeah, I can see where they say that. The steering, I'm being gentle with the steering. It does need some work. It feels weird. Where was I? I don't even know where I was, but suffice it to say, the ball joints, it cost me $75 less than what I was quoted at mechanic number one. So I saved a little bit of money there. I saved a little bit of money with the transmission range sensor and stuff. But the ball joints ended up costing me $700. So we tack that on to the amount of money that I have sunk into this restoration project. So I paid $700 for ball joints. I paid $1,300 for the transmission work, range sensor, transmission pan, and then another $4,300 for the whole timing chain system. It required a tear down and a replacement. So altogether, that's what, $6,300 is how much I'm into this, in addition to the purchase price for it. Ouch. But it's mine. I could have just either sold it or kept working on it, and I think I've made my decision already. I'm gonna work on this bad boy, and I'm gonna get it up to snuff. One good thing is every time I take it into a mechanic, I get compliments on my car. Mechanics like my car. In fact, at this other mechanic, the last one I was at, one of them in the garage offered to buy my car. Yeah. Maybe. I'm not against selling this car, but not right now. I'm just kind of enjoying it right now because it is nice. It is nice and floaty, aside from the suspension when the ball joints weren't in, and the steering is very, very, it feels like I'm ice skating in boots, I guess, which I do think it's the rack and pinion on second thought. So that's where I'm at. I don't want to keep you too long. I just want to let you know I'm now $6,300 of repairs into this lovely 2003 beautiful looking Lincoln Town Car, which they don't make anymore. And am I having second thoughts? No, I'm long past the second thoughts. In case you were wondering, I'm long past the second thoughts for this. It's been I've made up my mind, and I'm keeping it. So today I'm going to get the power steering fluid swapped out at the local Grease Monkey, and we'll see if they're even open because it's super cold today and everyone's calling out. But that's all I got for now. I'll talk to you guys later. I'll give you some more updates on my town car, and I guess we'll see where it goes from here.